Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. A few months ago, I introduced a guided meditation on the heaven worlds related to the chakra system, and I'd like to revisit that today, and we'll talk about it first, and then we'll finish with a short guided meditation. The chakra system is a set of ideas that's particularly found in the yoga schools. It's actually not mentioned in the Theravada scriptures. The only Theravada teacher that I know of who's incorporated some chakra meditation in his work is Ajahn Lee Damodaro, although he doesn't use that language. And he may have been influenced by India. He spent some time traveling in India. So this is something from outside the core of our tradition, but it's harmonious with it. And I found that there's quite a strong correspondence between the seven chakras and the six sensual heavens plus the Brahma world, which is often grouped with them as a list of the seven heavens. So these are levels of deities. The chakras are energetic centers that are generally considered to run along the spine of the human body, and they have different characteristics, and their energy nodes are points of expression of consciousness at different levels. At the base of the spine is the lowest chakra, the Muladhara, or root chakra, which is represented by a four-petal lotus. And this is the seat of survival, safety, security, groundedness. It's associated with the earth element. In the scheme of the seven heavens, the lowest of the Deva worlds is the Chaturmaharajaka realm, the world of the four great kings, which is situated on the slopes of Mount Sinnaru, halfway up, and is presided over by four deities, the great kings, each one responsible for one of the cardinal directions, and these are considered to be the protectors or guardians of the world. What they're protecting against is most evidently the asuras, who are demonic kind of ferocious beings that dwell at the base of Mount Sinnaru and periodically come swarming up the slopes attempting to conquer the heaven worlds. So just as when the root chakra is healthy and energized, it protects us from eruptions of lower energies, defilements, malevolent forces. So this is the role of the four great kings. On this level of existence, as servants or dependents of the great kings, are many kinds of magical or mythological beings, such as Supanas, the great thunderbirds, Nagas, the dragon beings, Kubandas, gnomes, and Yakas, like ogres. These beings are associated with this Chatu Maharajika level. At the peak of Mount Sinaru is Tawatingsa, the second heaven, the world of the 33 gods. There is a council of 33 gods that presides over this realm, with Saka as their chief. And this realm is particularly noted for the bewildering and intoxicating degree of the sensual pleasures that are present in this realm. Everything and everyone is very beautiful and exquisite. And there's music and food, dancing, beautiful palaces, mansions they live in, gardens with extravagant flowers. So this is a place of beauty and sensual delight. And this corresponds in the chakra system to the second chakra, which is the Svadhisthana chakra, the sex organs chakra, which is located just above the genitals and is the place of sensuality and earthly delight. The third heaven is the first one, is the Yama world, which is the first heaven that is separated completely from the earth. It's located in space. It's not attached, as Tawatingsa is seated on the peak of the mountain. This was in space, unconnected to the earth. So it's the first world that's free of enmity, strife, combat, and so on. Because the Asuras can never reach here. So this is the place of the contented or peaceful Devas. So their enjoyment is unsullied by strife or conflict. And this corresponds to the Naval Chakra, which is the seat of the emotions. And when it's open and energized and healthy, it's a place of the oceanic bliss, where there's a sense of total release from conflict and stress and strife. The next heaven is Toshita, which is a special place in the cosmological scheme, in that this is the heaven world where the Bodhisattva, the being who is destined to become a Buddha, dwells, awaiting his time for incarnation into a human form. And presently there dwells there the being who will become Metteyya Buddha, who is the Buddha of compassion. So this is quite appropriate to be associated with the heart chakra, which is the seat of the higher emotions, and particularly of compassion. All the Brahma Viharas, the divine abidings, we radiate from the heart center. So this is also, because the Metteyya Buddha is there, this is the place of the dawning of Bodhi or awakening. Then the next chakra is the Throat Chakra, which is the place of speech. It's represented by a 16-petal lotus, and the petals are marked with the 16 vowels of the Sanskrit alphabet. So this is the seat of creation, expression, and not just of speech, but expression or creativity generally, artistic and literary and philosophical. This is the seat, is the Throat Chakra. And in Tibetan Buddhism, there's a meditation based on the centering of the mind at the throat chakra that induces lucid dreaming. And this is all very appropriate correspondence to the heavenly realm of the Nimanarati Devas, who are the Devas who delight in creation. At this level of existence, their reality is entirely under the control of their mind, and it's very fluid. Whatever they wish, they can manifest. So they create their own reality. So this is very much like a permanent lucid dream. These beings dwell for long periods of time in this condition of creative play, where their world is created by their mind. The final sensual heaven, the sixth heaven in the list, the highest sensual heaven, is that of the Vasavati Devas, who are the overlords, those who delight in the creation of others. They do not even have to exert their will to create pleasant abidings and accoutrements. This is done for them by the lower Devas. And they're like rulers, overlords. The exertion of power is their speciality. And in this realm also, the ruler of this realm is known as Vasavati, and he has a rival in Mara, who is the tempter, who rules over part of this realm like a rebel prince. And this corresponds to the Third Eye Chakra, located in the forehead, represented by a two-petal lotus. And this is the seat of the will, of power, of control, of the intellect. This is the Third Eye Chakra. And finally, above the crown of the head, not actually connected to the body, but just slightly above the head, crown of the head, is the Crown Chakra, the Thousand-Petaled Lotus, which opens upwards like a bowl and receives illumination from above. And this corresponds to the realm of Mahabrahma, which is not a sensual heaven at all. Now we've transcended, just as this chakra is separate from the body, or a little above the body, this realm has transcended sensuality, and these beings are very advanced, refined beings beyond the comprehension of humans and devas. They've completely transcended the desire for sense objects. So they don't take food in the ordinary way, they feed on bliss. And they don't have sexual relations because they don't have any sexuality, they don't have genders. They're neither male nor female there, they're all just reckoned as beings. And it's said that Mahabrahma, the lord of this realm, seated on his throne in his palace, this is the most beautiful and wondrous sight in the universe, in this jeweled palace, dressed in his finery and accoutrements. And a marked characteristic of this level of beings is their illumination. They're very luminous, a very brilliant light emanates from their body. So we've come to the peak of the chakras corresponding to this realm that transcends sensuality. But there are realms even above this. There are 3 higher levels of Brahma beings, The second level of Brahma beings, the Abhisara beings, corresponding to second jhana in the meditation system, they are constantly crying out, Aho Sukho, oh the bliss, oh the bliss, which is said to be the most beautiful sound in the universe. And they're even more luminous than the Brahmas of the first level, but their luminosity flickers like a torch. The third level of Brahma beings, the Supakina beings, corresponding to third jhana, they dwell enwrapped in profound bliss. And this is said to be the greatest happiness experienced by any beings in the universe. But there's no sound because they just rejoice in silence. And the final highest is the place of the Vehapala, or the Brahmas of great fruit, who dwell in equanimity, in a profound peace that's beyond bliss. Then even beyond this, there are the pure abodes and there are the formless realms. So all of these levels, in a sense, one can see them as not as each one as a totally unique or independent existence, but they're reflections or translations of each other. That each realm is a perfection or a refinement of the realm below it. So we see for the sensual heavens, it's said that every one of them has a Nandana grove. This is the pleasure park in the center of their city of the gods. But that each one higher is more beautiful, more exquisite. Just as in the chakra system, we move up the chakras, it's the same energy that energizes each center, but it takes on a more refined, a higher kind of more spiritualized manifestation. So from the bottom to the top in both systems, we have the place of guardianship, the place of delight, the place of content and bliss, the place of compassion, the place of creation, the place of will, and the place of illumination. So now I'll go over this material again in the form of a guided meditation, now that you've got a basic overview. So sit comfortably, particularly for this meditation because we're using the chakras. Try and keep the spine upright. And as we go, center your consciousness at each point and visualize that appropriate realm. So begin with the root chakra at the base of the spine, the 4-petal lotus. And imagine there the existence of the realm of the 4 great kings, powerful guardians protecting us, sealing and guarding the gateway. And all the flourishing of form that occurs at this level. Nagas, Supanas, Yakas, Kumbhandas, lesser devas, and over all the four great kings, facing outwards, sword in hand, to the four directions. Feel this place energized with that protective energy. Move the mind upwards to the chakra of the sexual center. Here, the peak of Mount Sinaru, is the realm of the Tawatingsa heaven. This chakra is a six-petal lotus, which corresponds to the six senses. This is a place of flourishing and delight. This is a realm of unearthly beauty. Then one level higher, the Naval Chakra, seated on a 10-petal lotus. Visualize the Yama realm. These devas are more refined, more ethereal than those below, and they enjoy great pleasure in their contentment and peace. There's no strife, no animosity, no conflict, no stress at all in this realm, this level of being. It opens into the oceanic bliss. Higher yet, at the Heart Chakra, on a 12-petal lotus, inscribed with a six-pointed star, we have the Toshita heaven. See the Lord Maitya seated on his throne in glory, surrounded by a throng of attendant devas. Emanating compassion for all sentient beings. Infinite waves of compassion. originating in the Bodhi mind of Metya. Then higher to the Throat Chakra on the 16-petal lotus. Visualize the realm of the Nimanarati Devas, those who delight in creation. Wondrous, unimaginable manifestation of forms. Everything exquisitely beautiful. Wonderful colors and shapes, and all fluid and changeable. As these devas delight in creating their own manifestation. Taking this energy higher to the third eye, seated on a two-petal lotus, is the glorious realm of the Vasavati Devas, those who wield power. This is the place of the will, the intellect, these are the devas who wield lordship. And transcending the levels of sensuality altogether, making that quantum leap, seat your consciousness in the Crown Chakra, above the crown of the head, a 1,000-petal lotus, opening upwards like a bowl. And seated here is the realm of Mahabrahma, luminous, glorious, wondrous to behold, seated in his jeweled palace, illuminating all below. And above, the even more refined and wondrous and brilliant luminosity of the realms higher than this come pouring down into that bowl. Feel that divine luminosity pouring down through all the open chakras below, illuminating the entire body-mind system. From this brilliant source. And and the Crown Chakra, associated with Mahabrahma. Let this luminosity flow downwards to the Third Eye Chakra. Feel that energized, open and brilliant. The Vasavati Devas, those of will and power. Illuminate the Throat Chakra, the place of creation, of the fluid play of form, the place of dreaming, the realm of the Nimanarati Devas. Feel it illuminating the Heart Chakra, the place of compassion. Metya Buddha sitting in Toshita heaven, infinitely radiating compassion over all the sentient beings in the myriad world systems. Illuminate the Naval Chakra, the place of the Yamadevas, those who delight in contentment and peace and harmony, who dwell in the oceanic bliss of happiness, of pleasures uncontaminated by strife. Illuminate the place of the Tawatingsa Devas at the peak of Sinaru, at the sexual chakra center, the place of sensuality, of delight, of beauty. Feel that purified. And finally, down Mount Sinaru to the place of the Four Great Kings, and the Root Chakra, the place of protection, of groundedness. Feel yourself solidly based, protected, stabilized. The Four Great Kings ever on guard. Now elevate the consciousness again back to Tawatingsa, back to Yama, the navel. And take it to Toshita in the center. Feel the union of the upper and lower forces, their purification, their illumination, and the infinite outflowing of compassion. Visualize Metea sitting in the royal posture on his throne, 1 foot crosswise on the throne, the other dangling down and seated on the floor. This is the royal posture. He's wearing the robes and the jewelry of a royal prince. There are thousands of devas circling, paying homage, venerating. In the crystal clarity of his Bodhi mind, he radiates compassion in all directions.
Adabaya